I'll always be there for you. Oh, through rain or fire, we'll be together in this moment on into forever. I'm letting go, just falling with you. Just falling with you, always with you.
You know, the song is just essentially about being there to catch each other in a relationship, and that's kind of been our story from the get-go. I mean, we got married 7 years ago. We did everything backwards. Like, I rented out my house, and we went on the road. And, you know, we've made decisions to pursue our music careers that most people would, like, look at and go, you're insane, you're crazy, you know? But we know it's gonna work out, and we've got each other's back. I mean, that's kind of our story in that song, you know?
It is. We have this cool respect for each other. Like, if someone has a song idea, kind of let the person develop it a little bit before we jump in.
Yeah.
I gave him his space for about a week as he tried to, you know, figure this out, and I was listening. Of course, I had my ideas, and I kept them to myself. And as soon as he asked me, I was like, okay, I have permission to chime in.
Here are my notes.
Here's my notes.
Exactly.
And I told him, I was like, this flat out sounds like a wedding song to me. I think this could be really emotional and really connect with people, and this is a cool chance for us to kind of tell our story.
They looked like the lyrics to a John Mellencamp tune, that Maggie and Shane. She's all-American girl next door, kind eyes and a sweet voice with some strength beneath the surface, not quite hidden. He's tall with hippie hair, easygoing enough, but he's a man with ideas that he's serious about. And he's a little dangerous with a guitar in his hands. They're passionate about this band, you can see it and hear it. And that's especially compelling because they're each undeniably successful in their own right. They've been down their own roads, and hearing them talk, you can tell it's been a journey for them both. Skim over their bio, and it's a musician's bucket list with a lot of those boxes checked. Maggie sang everywhere from bookstores to Madison Square Garden. Shane's played dates with B.B. King and toured with Buddy Guy and Joe Bonamassa, among others. But the chemistry of them playing together and the tension of their respective influences and voices pushing and pulling, how that sounds and feels, is undeniable. They bring something out of each other that wasn't there before. The sum beats the parts, man.
There are similarities with like how you came up in terms of the interests and the family support. But obviously, we also talking about pretty different music.
Yes.
Like, how did you guys get together?
Music is what brought us together. I mean,
It really is.
if we both weren't musicians, we would have probably never met, because when I went to record this first record, I was looking for musicians and specifically a keyboard player. And I came into a music store here in Norman. I actually had a flyer. I was looking for musicians, you know, and the guy that was working there said, I'm actually a keyboard player, you know, and I said, really, you know? And so he came out and recorded on my album, and he was great. His name's Jim Robinson. And fast forward years later, he was teaching piano lessons to Maggie. And he said, hey, I know we've got this show, you know, at Red Dirt Cafe. And he said, this girl that I'm teaching piano lessons, she would like to get some experience, you know? And I said, yeah, she can open up, you know, sure. And that's how we met. So if it would,
So you were opening up for him?
Yeah.
yeah, if it wasn't for music, we literally would have never met. It's crazy.
Yeah.
that, you know,
how it's all happened.
How it's all worked out, yeah.
Yeah, and we, you know, really owe a lot to our families. Like, our family support has been huge for us, and I think it has made a huge difference and really helped us keep our momentum and our positive attitude and persistence, because, you know, a lot of the time we get no response when we reach out to people for opportunities, and it can really beat you down. And, you know, not even get a no, but just nothing at all.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
It's the apathy that hurts the most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so, you know, just having our families there to continue to cheer us on, and when we have super hard days, and they can just kind of remind us, you guys are doing what you're meant to do, and
Right.
the doors are going to open.
Well, that's also, you guys have that with each other.
We do.
Absolutely.
Being married, being in the business together, and then being in a band together.
Right.
Like, you know, I've heard jokes a lot about in our community about like film widows whose spouses are off filming, and you're gone, you're up late, you're out sacrificing that time
Right.
that you would have with each other or with the kids or at home, and you're out pursuing this. To have somebody who knows what that pursuit is like, that chase, that's kind of a magical thing.
It really is.
Well, we feel really grateful, because there are a lot of things that we do that on the outside looking in, it might look like we're crazy, you know? But we totally understand the why behind it all and completely get it. And we're on the same page in every way possible. So it's been a huge blessing for us.
The combination of their sounds, of her pop and his blues rock, is rooted in country and folk and gospel. It plays comfortable under that shade of that big Americana umbrella. They're blending colors, making something new and familiar all at the same time, but it's decidedly them. Their voices and their touch. It's their desire to bring light and hope and love in their music, and it's clear. They've got a message, man, and they're sticking to it.
We've been talking about doing this for over 5 years. It always just came down to, okay, the album cycle's through for you, now I'm gonna do mine. And then he's like, okay, well, I'm ready to do another one. And I'm like, okay, well, then I guess I am too. At first, it was kind of scary for us to like kind of put our solo careers aside a little bit to really focus on this, because you can only focus really good on a few things. And so we wanted it to happen naturally in the way that it should, and not try to force it in a sense. So it really has happened naturally.
Well, okay, so like you guys had worked together, you'd backed her up, you had backed him up. Did you have any reservations in terms of, okay, we're coming at equal footing, and we're both gonna have a say here. You don't just have my back, I don't just have your back, but now we're here together.
Right.
Did you have any concerns about that?
I mean, it was...
Should I ask you separately?
You can.
I'm just teasing. I mean,
It was kind of scary, just because it was like, okay, well, now instead of this being my record, I can't just say this is what I want,
right.
and that's how it is, and same for him. And we have had plenty of arguments along the way. And the first time we tried to write a song together, it was when we started dating. I was probably 19, and he had his ways of writing, and I had mine. And it definitely clashed.
Right.
We ended up arguing and not writing a song that day. We were like, okay, well, we obviously have very different methods of writing. That's okay. So then we tried again, and it went a little smoother. And now it's very second nature for us, but it was not natural at first.
Well, it's just difficult for you to turn off the certain side of your brain. I just gotta say it. It's the truth. You were in boyfriend-girlfriend mode versus being in songwriting mode. And I mean,
It's true.
when you're writing a song, your sensitivity level was like a 200. You know, you have to be willing to take critique and not like get hurt
offended.
over it. And that was what typically would happen. It was like she would just get crushed when I said, well, that just feels a little cliche on that line or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I was probably too brash in how I went about
Yeah, probably.
spilling my thoughts. So, yeah, you just have to kind of, anyways, we figured it out, so.
We did.
Obviously, you're both very distinctive.
Yeah.
And you're both very serious-minded about what you're wanting to say and do. And so
Yeah.
to say, okay, I'm going to give some of that up,
Right.
and like, okay, now we're together. Like that's
Yeah.
And not only that, but then like when I leave the studio and I'm angry at my partner, I got to
Sure.
go home to my partner.
Yeah.
You know
Right.
what I mean? That's interesting.
This just sort of organically happened at a perfect time when we're like a little bit exhausted on pushing so hard on our solo careers, and just decided, you know what, let's try something new.
Yeah.
Let's get our names out of it. Let's just start over and
Right.
see what happens.
Yeah.
And it's been pretty amazing, the songs and the ability for us to just really put our story into this thing, and I'm really excited about it.
Yeah.
So.
For both of us, like in the long run, big picture thinking, we just want to be making music, writing, recording, and touring, and being able to do it together. And so this is a really cool opportunity for us. And honestly, it's not like we tried to make the music a certain way. It just
kinda happened.
is that.
I'll be there to catch you. I will never let you fall alone. With trust and understanding, we will find safe landing in each other's arms.
I think for the Imaginaries, we both just want to put out music that's honest, that's true, that has substance, and
Makes a difference.
hopefully can put some hope out there. That's our goal with this music, is to go beyond, reach out to people, and hopefully impact people in a positive way. We've got songs on this record that are love songs. We have songs on this record that are struggle songs. I mean, it's all the human condition. It's all the experiences that we all go
We
through.
cover a lot of different emotions, and it's been kind of scary in a way to start over, in a sense, with this new project. It's also been even more exciting and invigorating because it's new, it's fresh, it's exciting to us.
It's interesting how a song can come and how a song can impact someone, and you never know where it's going to come from. But through our course of being back and forth between Oklahoma and Los Angeles, a few years ago we were playing in a couple of the bars in Will Rogers Airport. You never know what's going to happen, who's going to hear you, but this one particular day I was playing, and this guy came up and gave me his business card and listened to me play a couple of songs, and I heard you all the way down here, and I decided to walk down here before I picked up my bags at the baggage claim. And he said, I'm gonna be in town for like a week, and I'd love to, hang out. I don't really know any musicians here. Okay. And so I took him up on his offer, called him up the next day, and what I'm trying to cut to is he had come back to Oklahoma because his father had passed away. The next day after just meeting this guy, he called me and he said, hey, music has always been a huge part of my life, and would you play at my father's, funeral? I said, yeah, I would do that, And I called Maggie right away, and I was like, I just got asked to play at a funeral for someone I don't know. What do I play? I don't know if they're people of faith.
Right.
And I knew that I wanted to do something that would bring them hope, because that's the power of music. I put the question back on Wally. I said, is there any songs that come to mind that would have been meaningful, to your father? And he said, no, I'm just going to let you play whatever you feel. And I said, man, that's, so I wanted to know more about his dad. And so I read a little bit more. He sent me some information about his father. And I thought, man, I'm going to write a song for this guy. This is just, his story is too cool. And so that's what I did. I wrote a song and I played it at the funeral. And it's one of those things where I've never played this song outside of that ever. I've recorded it, and I recorded it for the family.
Yeah.
But that's the cool thing that music can do. I mean, music can, that song meant everything to them and gave them hope.
Well, there's that step with art, music, like where you're like, okay, can I do it? And then can I do it well?
Yeah.
Right? And then what can I use it for? Like,
Yeah.
how can I help somebody with it, hopefully?
Sure.
That's pretty beautiful, man.
Yeah, it is. And, we've been talking about it, and that's what's so cool with music, man. It gets you through the tough times. I mean, we can all go back and look at something we've gone through, and there's a song that for me at least, I'll listen to music and it will always connect me at a place and time in my life where,
Oh, yeah.
you know, I know what I was doing then, and you know what I mean? So it's...
Well, that's kind of a spiritual element to like what you guys are trying to do in regards to, because you have your own stuff. I mean, you could be doing your own thing. Not that there's not it doesn't mean something to you, that it's not personal already.
Right.
But to say, hey, this is kind of the mission statement of the Imaginaries. This is our goal. We want to help.
Absolutely. I mean,
Definitely.
we're both people of faith, and you know, I mean, we're all here for a short time on this earth, you know, and it's like we just both want to do as much good as we can, but we're wanting to put something out there that, you know, hopefully people can walk away and feel uplifted at the end of the
feel
night.
encouraged and
Yeah.
inspired.
Talking to Maggie and Shane reveals pretty quickly that they're older than something as relative as age. Indiana Jones said, "It's not the years, honey, it's the mileage." And that rings true with the Imaginaries. They're young and bright-eyed, but they're veterans of the stage and they've seen things. They've played together everywhere from college campuses to recording down at Muscle Shoals. Listen to them dissect their sound or tell some road stories, and you can see a wisdom beneath the youth and a seriousness behind the friendly conversation. Maggie Mcclure and Shane Henry are getting up there on stage to tell their story the way they see it, the way they've lived it, with all the passion of a couple in love and all the talent of two stars who joined forces for the greater good, to spread some hope and love and faith. And we should listen to them. The Imaginaries.
Wash away my worries till they are no more. Fill me with your mercy and love forevermore. Wash away my worries till they are no more. Never to be seen again no more. No more. Preacher told me there gon' come a day. Keep on walking down that narrow way. People chasing money on their mind. Always working, spending up all that time. We're on to something. We're gonna set it right. There's no tomorrow. We just gotta live our lives. Live our lives. Wheels are rolling. We have been set free. Eyes wide open. All night long now we can see. We're on to something. We're gonna set it right. There's no tomorrow. We just gotta live our lives. Take me to the river for a bottle. Wash me clean, make me whole. Pull these devils from my soul. Done all that we now wake up tomorrow. But oh my Lord, I've been changed. I'll never be the same. We're on to something. We're gonna set it